Which brand is more like the real brand and is the best brand? Brand Battles, Historical Edition, Volume 1. We're back. It's Baxter here.
And Jonathan.
So we were just talking about the idea of the iconic brands, Fenders and Gibsons and Fenders and Gibsons, and the offshoot brands that came afterwards that, like, some people are like, hey, G&L is more Fender than Fender.
Oh, yeah. Unless it's Music Man.
Music Man is more Fender than G&L, or Heritage is more Gibson than Gibson.
Absolutely. Kalamazoo, baby.
The battle begins and commences. This is a tough one for a lot of folks. I mean, not for us. We have our opinions, and we're just going to stick to it. As stupid as they are.
No one cares about them.
Click like and subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Thanks for joining us once again, and joining us for all this time you have. It's not as hard. I used to be like really firm, like always on like the brand side.
Yes.
Like, you know, I'm a Fender and Gibson diehard.
Yes.
I've always been that way.
I've documented through this very channel.
Yeah, you can watch it all the way back. Now, you see my slow bleeding and transition into, I do like a lot of boutique guitars.
Yep.
Really, I love, like, you know, the Echo Parks, Cassidoses, the Loudons, and I love Two Rocks and Magnetones and car amps and all sorts of Bensons and all sorts of weird things that are not in the Fender Gibson world. But I go back still and defer to
I would say I would posit.
Thank you.
That you like all those things, but you're not replacing a Fender or Gibson with any of those things. You like them because they're their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I find I play one of my Echo Parks that is sort of very Gibson-y a lot. Like, more than my Gibsons right now.
I mean, it's Gibson-y, but, you know, it also, you can say, oh, it's like a Telly or whatever, but it's not. Or, you know, I mean, it's...
The Cassidose I play as a baritone, so
right.
It's totally...
So it's its own thing. Even though, you know, there's a little thread back to Fender, obviously. With Echo Park, there's a little thread back to Fender.
Well, yeah, there are two threads, and I guess in Carlos Lopez, like, you know, he used to be a master builder at Fender, but he was also born. He was the third illegitimate grandson of Leo Fender. You heard it here first. I'm out of him. No, that was
1,000% true. No,
it's fun to get Carlos in trouble. The Fender state's like, that's not true.
Oh my God,
that's not true. If you believe that that's true for a minute, we got issues.
It'd be great if this was like a strange, like Adam Sandler movie where now he owns Fender, he inherits it.
But we just did
because we did that.
Then he has to go back to Fender,
right?
Was that Big Daddy?
What's the? I'm trying to think where he has the crazy the butler with the dead hand or whatever.
I can't remember.
Or the foot. I don't know.
I can't remember
I want to go watch it now.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, whatever. They're all great. They're wonderful.
No, it's just tricky. The tricky thing. It's but yeah, I'm still a Fender and Gibson fanboy, as much as they do wrong. Because we've had Heritages in and out of the shop, and they're awesome. They're really good. I just don't like the headstock.
I don't like the headstock, but I don't know that I buy that. Like, like that whole argument that they're more Gibson than Gibson. Like, Gibson is still a thing. So,
well, I mean, I guess because like the factory, right? You know, there's something to it, because I'm going to use the Vienna sausage as an example of this, because Vienna sausage is classic. We know they're wonderful things that are all of our childhood. I grew up on them.
So good for you.
The idea of eating like cold sausage and liquid now makes me want to vomit, but I used to love those. I'd like sneak them but no, they built this top of the end, state-of-the-art new factory just across the street, and the sausages weren't tasting right. They couldn't figure it out. It took them months and years to figure out what was going wrong.
I had to have enough grime.
There was a room that they traveled. I'm going to spoiler alert. It's just a long NPR story. I think there's a room they travel through where the sausages would just sit for a few hours. That somehow the room had this woody sort of soaking in, called amoebas probably. But it did. So they had to replicate and build that again, exactly where the sausage would just sit in vats of liquid sausage goo. Yeah. Anyway, so maybe that.
Hope you guys aren't eating breakfast.
Maybe that's part of the heritage type of like, say they're building. You know, they got the fat sausage goo in the Heritage Factory.
The Heritage guitars are fantastic guitars.
Fantastic.
Like you know, we've had some of the 335 sort of style ones come through. We've had Les Paul style ones come through.
They always sell. They're always good.
They always sell. They're always good. I just don't know that I like maybe people, what they mean is that I think that their quality control is better than Gibson right now.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I think when people say that it's more Gibson than Gibson, maybe that's what they mean.
No, I mean, I think it's going back to the historical ties of where it's built.
Right.
That'd be my guess with that. I don't like the headstock. I just don't like it in comparison to Gibson's.
Right.
Like Gibson's. And we went to the First Friday we have here locally. This First Friday, and like they put this big new musical sign that is built with like a guitar headstock shoot. And I was like, cool. I was like, hey, you guys realize you did a PRS headstock? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's a PRS headstock. Because they hired someone to do this guitar headstock without consulting the guitar shop at all. I just thought it was funny because it's sort of a rootsy, folksy guitar festival. I was like, man, it's also, I think, an infringement.
That's what everyone's playing. No,
so that's a trademark headstock. But it was just funny. I was like, you guys probably should have stuck with the Gibson one. It's a little bit like less, just the square.
Just a little more general. Like,
it's pretty obvious. Yeah, like Gibson, you can just sort of steal easier. I was like, I don't know. So if you're a lawyer at PRS, don't come looking at Southern Pots.
Why'd you say it, Baxter?
Sorry. I think they flipped the actual horn though.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's probably fine.
Maybe Miriam. I can't remember.
Just trying to say it now.
I can't remember. I thought they did, but maybe not. Now I look at the horn again.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, what about Gino? Like, because I mean, there's some really cool Gino models, but I don't necessarily think of them as like.
I've never connected with a Gino though.
Me neither.
You know, and it's not saying they're bad, but I'm just such a Fender fanboy. I think it's hard for me to get, like, why would I get that when I want to say Fender on the headstock? I don't know. I know. Gosh,
I just think it's funny that people will be like, this is what Leo intended. Like, it doesn't really matter what he intended, right? It matters what's good. That's sort of like saying just because your favorite band has like their 17th album out, like most of the time those suck.
Like most people aren't going to argue that Metallica's latest albums are the best, or Guns N' Roses' newest material is their best.
Yeah, Chinese democracy.
Gotta hear that. No, it's the same with a guitar maker and like a car maker too. Like they built some of the best cars. We had this discussion when we were talking about this video. Like Aston Martin's best cars were built decades ago. Like the new one that's coming out, that's $4 million and has working bulletproof windshield behind you, or the shield, smoke screen, oil slick, and machine guns. Those might not actually
couldn't use that.
But $4 million. If I had $4 million, I'd want to buy that car all day, every day. Awesome. Look, kind of cool.
I just think, I don't know.
But that was the best.
Usually people's their first like initial burst of like inspiration / innovation. That's the one.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you know, Telly's Strats.
He kind of nailed it. And Jazzmasters and Jaguars, like that was sort of the weird offshoots. And they're kind of what everyone copies in the sort of indie artsy world as well.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Like Les Paul, I was laughing about that the other day. I was thinking about Signature Series guitars. I'm like, that's the best Signature Series ever. It's the Gibson Les Paul. You know, it's because we're talking about like Steve Lacy or the Michael Landau and the new Her guitar that just dropped or something. You know, it's like, well, those are just, that's not like a real new guitar. That's just like a guitar with someone's name on it.
Yes.
A couple little features, like a new color or a different pickup. Or a fuzz circuit.
Wouldn't it be funny now if every signature guitar was like a Les Paul, like a brand new thing? Like something we've never seen. I mean, I don't know how you'd do that.
I've heard some rumors with Gibson's going to be doing some stuff with their Epiphone line.
Really?
We'll get into that later with some signature stuff, but that's got some moles inside the camp. Gibson tighten the spigots. I'm kidding.
I mean, if it's like, you know, I feel like they just crush it with those Jared James Nichols.
That's the like somebody was when I was talking about it too. They're like, oh, nobody wants to have an Epiphone. I'm like, Jared James Nichols' Epiphone is one of the best.
Sure.
I don't care if you know who Jared James is. I don't care if you like who he is. I don't care if you're offended by how tall and masculine and scary and in shape he is. It's still a great guitar.
It's like the Zach Myers SE PRS.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great guitar.
And I would guess that at least probably half the people who buy that guitar
don't know who Shinedown is.
Right. Well, they might know Shinedown, but when they hear Zach Myers, I don't know if they make the connection.
Well, Shinedown's got like a song on the radio now again. I think they just had a new album come out, so
they're pretty big. I mean, that's a pretty massive band, you know. But
I mean, yeah, I guess they're big. They're bigger than the Violet Exploit.
Slightly, just slightly.
I mean, I like the Violet Exploit better, but that's just me. It's another story. Sticking with it.
Is it the shirtless video? It's the shirtless video.
No, I don't want that one's sort of I like the live shows. That video, I can't really watch the whole video. So like that guy's naked the whole time. I don't want to. I can't see.
Man, we love you. It's fantastic.
I mean, he's really attractive and all.
I think you should be naked in all the videos.
I know. Please, no. I don't want to. I don't want D'Angelo on every video.
Give the people what they want.
No, it's tricky. I'm still a brand loyalist. Even though these brands, God, even though sometimes they're just such jerks,
That's true.
You know, like, and I'm gonna, and like everybody's like, well, it's not the brand, it's the people. I'm calling the people jerks. Sometimes they make bad choices sometimes based on, you know,
And they are the brand.
yeah.
I mean, you know,
and like Gibson's made some horrible choices through the years, and like they've had some, you know, everybody talks trash on Henry because like, at the end of the last CEO run before JC got brought in, that he's been removed. But I mean, Henry also brought back Gibson from the ashes at first too. That's often forgotten. Like I'm not a Henry cheerleader by any respect. That dude was,
I mean, I was there for some of the Henry stuff. I feel like Henry was like the Mad King. Like started out great,
yes,
then it would just
off with their head.
spent poorly. He started beheading and burning people. Maybe someone should have stepped in.
Yeah,
The Kingslayer there.
yeah, it was a Kingslayer.
I'm just saying.
No, oh, that's funny.
But it is funny that he saved the company.
I don't think we forget that because our memories are short, and that's okay. Like he did some horrible things too. I know that from experience with a lot of my dear friends in the game. But, you know, like Fender made some horrible choices last year too. Like I know the CEO board; they're all nice people, but they made some really bad choices.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it was like unregulated buying by, you know, all their major resellers like Guitar Center, Thomann, and Sweetwater.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, nice people are not immune from doing dumb things, right?
No,
like
we do things all the time.
especially in business things like that, right? Where you think, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this.
Well, that
bottom line.
Well, they thought like, you know, the money's, everybody's just buying guitars left and right. It's never going to slow up.
And they were, but it did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of things go up and down. It's part of it. You have to be prepared for that. But no, it's like, and you're allowed to be mad at them as, you know, as a buyer of the instruments. Like when they do silly things or if the QC falls off, you know, you can get upset about that. Like that's their job. The guitar should leave the factories. Amazing. Now, I will say G&L does a great job of that. Heritage does a great job of that.
You know, I think, I mean, this is my opinion. This is not at all shit talk Heritage or G&L because I think they're both cool companies. I just think, I think both those things do better when they become their own thing and not like, they're just the real Fender. Like, I don't think that helps them. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, because I mean, I think of PRS, right? Like, if they had got pigeonholed as well, they just make kind of like, you know, Fender-y Les Paul Juniors. They're one of the big three now.
Well, it is funny that
they became their own thing.
Like let's look at the future of these guitar brands, all of them, and like some of them might cease to exist.
Yeah,
eventually. Like there's a time or there's a timeline where some of these companies could go away. I don't think Gibson and Fender are going away. Their names are iconic enough.
They could be gone in like Earth 515. Ooh. You know, I don't know which Earth we are, like where we are in the multiverse.
I haven't watched that last movie. The Multiverse of Madness was
saying.
I just stopped.
Maybe we're like Earth 1, 2, 3. We're Fender and Gibson.
Jonathan's password for his email is password.
Yes,
it's really bad. All lowercase. It's just so you know, that's who you're listening to right now. No, but I'm fascinated by the idea. Like, will G&L, will Rickenbacker, will Heritage? Like, we love Rickenbacker. You know, and I don't want them to always exist. And like they have their niche, and I feel like they will always stay because they've stayed true.
Yeah,
they haven't tried to morph in, but you know, look at the other brands that are owned by like sort of Fender with them, the Charbels and the EVH. Like I could see like, you know, if they find they're not selling enough of them, they'll just shut it down. They've done it before.
I mean, it's like, I know, this is Yamaha now, but so many brands like that that sort of have fallen off for days.
Angelico was gone for years.
Exactly.
Like Arizona Iced Tea brought back.
I mean, you think about Super and Magnetone were gone for years. You know,
Two Rock went through its time. Loudon had its struggles. You know, when they got sold off to an investment group. Usually the troubles happen when, unfortunately, when groups buy them just to turn a profit.
Yeah,
and when it's not the original people that like.
Don't use CBS. That's darn the CBS bastard.
Wow, and now they're not even a thing anymore. They're like, God, screw you, Hulu. You know, I feel like how many people watch like Good Morning America and all that stuff anymore? Is that a thing?
I'm sure it is.
And people watch it. I don't know. Or like soap operas.
Things are really sad.
I can't imagine like being like, I watched my Good Morning America this time at this day.
But it used to be like, you know, I can remember a time when the TV was on and that's what was on, right? Like you didn't really have a choice unless you put in like a VHS tape somewhere or something. And you know, it was kind of neat. And they had performances from bands. That's okay.
I do like those performances. They're like, hey, the band had to show up at 7 in the morning to sound check. Ooh.
I just always be like, oh wow, it's very obvious they can't hear themselves.
It's like, it's like Sting and Pitbull or something. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Great collaboration.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the future of them are in question always. So like, if you love them, keep supporting them. It's neat to see how that goes. But I'm gonna still stick with Fender and Gibson. I think
If I want a Fender Gibson,
if I want something else, which I have there in the boutique world now. It was hard at first. I had to sort of step in, then I just jumped full force, and now I just freaking breaststroke all in that boutique world. It's great. There's so many cool stuff. And Jonathan found me like a Languedoc looking wannabe that might be out there that I can go look at.
yeah, I got to show. Remind me.
Weird headstock.
Saved it just for you.
If you're right when this thing stops.
Weird and hollow and strange.
Just like my soul. Speaking of stopping, I guess we should stop now.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "What are you guys doing?"
It's all right.
20 minutes. My God.
It wasn't even.
I don't know.
Sure, this is like 12 minutes. We're fine. It's perfect timing. Everybody's happy. But thanks again for joining us and sticking with us and liking and subscribing
And hitting the bell.
and just being a happy guitar loving, just bloke or lassie out there.
Nah, gotta get all salty.
No, don't get salty.
It's salty.
Stick with us. Tell us why we're wrong in a nice way, or tell us why we're right in a nicer way. But no, just enjoy the stuff you play. Have fun again. Share your love with other people.
I cannot wait to read all the comments about why these brands we've mentioned are, in fact,
superior,
better. And they might be. We're not saying they're not superior. We're just saying.
No, I am. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
No, it's just I'm still been tricked. Still under the you're either Xbox or your PlayStation. You're
Darn
your HD DVD or your Blu-ray, Laserdisc or nothing. One or the other. I'm leaving now. Peace be with you all, and thanks again for joining us.
Yes. Goodbye. Beautiful.